Thank you, everybody. Now I call Shri Prasanna, Senior Mentor of Seva Sangh, who will issue the introductory remarks and set the context for this symposium.
Friends, the young people have given me the responsibility to put the background straight so that the session can go on well. These are some introductory remarks which I decided to write it down and read it for you because it's a responsible job. I'll read it. As you are aware, Gram Seva Sangh has been leading a satyagraha demanding zero tax, that is GST, on all handmade products. This national symposium is a continuation of that, the tax denial satyagraha. The symposium has set before itself a simple and yet a historic task. We want to demand through this symposium that the world pay a better attention to the handmade and that the world pay a better value to the handmade product. Handmaking system of production, we are sure, is going to be the enterprise of the future. It is, we are sure, a better economic alternative to the neoliberal economy as we are practicing now. We are sure, find solutions to the various problems facing humanity today, namely the crisis of environment, the crisis of inequality, the crisis of morality, and the crisis of the self, that is the alienation of the individual from the society, all through this shift in the production system. Basically, there are two systems of production that shaped human civilization thus far: handmaking and machine making. The handmaking system existed all by itself till about 300 years ago. Then came the machine making system, or the system of automation, with concomitant systems of remote sensing, virtual communication, robots, etc. Handmaking is a slow system. It is closer to nature and hence closer to the evolutionary process. It is ecologically friendlier and more sustainable, but economically it is less efficient compared to the new system. Machine making, on the contrary, is a faster system. Hence, economically it is far more efficient. But because of this very nature, machine making system is ecologically, socially, and morally a very, very unsustainable system. Because it is far less dependent on the human hand, it has a far stronger tendency to accumulate wealth in the hands of a privileged few. It has a tendency to deprive large sections of the society of their wealth, thus creating both a real and a perceived poverty. Being entirely market-driven, it is an antithesis to the fundamental principles of coexistence and cooperation. We have been experiencing all these ills or ill effects ourselves over the last few decades. We have become worried in the process. Yes, contemporary civilization is a very worried civilization. But then the system is easy to operate. Because of the ease, it is attractive. it is like the devil, very, very attractive. The human society vacillates. It tries to improve the machine system by tinkering with it. But the tinkering can only make the system bigger, uglier, and corrupt. What is bothering us is therefore a fundamental characteristic of the system. It is very clear that we need to gradually but consistently shift over to the hand-making system of production. The question is, why are we not doing so? We are not doing so because people have doubts. It is the responsibility of us sitting here to clear those doubts and answer questions. The biggest question that needs to be answered is this: can we turn back history? Can we go back in time? The answer is no. We shall not go back, we shall go forward. We shall retain the best of the modern civilization that is taught and discard its worst, that is the market. In other words, we shall use modern ideas of equity and sustainability to deconstruct the material world. It can be done. The second question is the consequent economic slowdown. How does one handle the economic slowdown that is going to happen because of this shift? The answer is this: the economic slowdown is already there. Neoliberal economy is already floundering. With the depletion of fossil fuel, the depletion of natural resources, it can only get worse. From now on, there are going to be temporary jumps showing up false signs of recovery, but go down we shall definitely. Tinkering cannot do. For a sudden slump in economy can be catastrophic. It can lead to wars of destruction. It can lead to terrible intolerance and such other panic reactions. What one is suggesting instead is a planned, self-motivated and civilized way of deconstruction. Let's be clear, there is no alternative to the hand-making system of production anymore. What is crucial to note here is the other advantage of the shift over, however. The shift over is not going to be merely economical. It is going to be a spiritual shift over or a spiritual revival as well. For the tools that we are going to use in causing this shift over are going to be both moral and material. We will ask people to adopt a simpler way of life. We will ask them not to use the machine so much and so often. This, we are sure, will get us our dear God back. This approach is very different from that of the political right or the political right wing. The right winger treats God as a mere mental construct, an imagined construct. For them, wealth is real, and hence a machine construct is real. For us, God and wealth both are made by the hand, and hence it's a simple construct. We are going to emulate the saints of the past in this regard. Come, let us all work towards bringing a better price for the handmade. Therein lies the secret of your success, our success, and the success of our civilization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prasanna sir. Now I invite Chockalingam to introduce the resolutions for this symposium. Chockalingam, sir.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks, Sharda. I placed before you the resolutions proposed, which we shall discuss at the end of this session, end of the day, and adopt. On behalf of all the peasant weavers, craftspeople, forest dwellers, fisherfolk, animal herders, and such other hard-working communities, we, the delegates of National Symposium held on 6/1/2018 at Heggodu on the handmade, hereby resolve that first, the GST Council should make all handmade products zero taxed. Second, the central and various state governments in India should take measures to get a better price for the handmade. Third, since 60% of the Indian population still depend for their livelihood on producing products with their own hands, a separate ministry be set up for the handmade with a budgetary allocation equivalent to that of the population size. Fourth, the government and the other concerned agencies should adopt the definition as given below of the handmade. Any product that uses not less than 2/3 of the hand process and not more than 1/3 of the machine process, we treat it as handmade. Thank you.